Hello, and in this video I'm going to show you a process how to paint your best painting yet. Now this process will help you plan, paint and critique your own artwork to create your best painting, and I'm really excited to show it to you. First of all, if you would love to see improvement in your artwork and would love an easy method on how to do that, I'm running a workshop that is called Transform Your Art, and it would be great to have you join the workshop. The link is in the description box. It's a free class. It comes with an amazing workbook that you can work through as well, and it'd be lovely to have you join us. And yeah, so check the description box for the link to that class. It's free to sign up. So anyway, this method that I'm going to share with you today, we're going to touch on basically how you can start to feel in control of your artwork, gain confidence, and really create a painting that you envisioned, that you love, and that you're proud of. The consequences of not using this method, I know too well, because before I used this method, I would go to all my painting sessions with lots of self-doubt, lots of fear, lots of negative self-talk in my head. The painting would start off okay, but with every brushstroke it felt like the painting would go further and further away from the initial vision that I had. And it was very frustrating not to be able to create what I wanted to create. And ultimately, the biggest problem was that I didn't know what was wrong. I didn't know what was wrong with the painting. I didn't know how to fix it. And it just left me in a really bad cycle with my art and my creativity. So when I started implementing this method, not only does it give you the confidence and the relaxation to actually enjoy the painting session, but also you end up creating artwork that you really love. Now this is one that I literally finished the other night, and I thought it'd be great to kind of show you this process with one of my paintings and how that kind of works and what that looks like. So let's get into it. I call it the 5 core skills. Now a lot of people think that painting is a skill, and people will kind of go into YouTube or whatever and search how to paint or how to improve my painting or how to paint better. And the problem with that is that painting is made up of a lot of different skills. Painting is not just one skill. So what I like to do is break down painting into the 5 core skills, really separate them, because it might be that you are really good at one of the skills and not so good at the other. Then you can hyper focus on that one, because there's no good practicing what you're already really good at, you know? So let me share those 5 core skills with you now. That is drawing, value, composition, color, and painting technique. Now, the secret to this is that as you are painting, or even before you start your painting, when you're planning it, you can really plan to make sure that each of these elements in the painting are going to be ultimately good, which is what's going to help you have a successful painting at the end of it. And not only that, you can do it in your planning, you can also do it at the critiquing at the end stage, when either you feel quite happy with it and you just want to make sure you think it's finished, or if you feel like something is off with your painting, you can't quite work out what it is, but you just know you don't really like it. Going through these 5 core skills will essentially tell you exactly what is wrong with it and how to fix it. And that's the superpower of this process. Now let's go into the first one, drawing. So let's say I finished this painting, which is the truth, because I think I've finished it, but just to make sure that I'm happy with it and that there isn't anything that I think could be improved, which is what a lot of people kind of get stuck at that stage, I think. So the first skill we'll look at is the drawing. So I'll think, okay, let's survey it as a drawing. So almost like deleting the color, deleting the paint even, just the basic shapes, the way that it's made up, the perspective, all those sort of elements is everything looking right to my eye. And to do that, it's almost like you just take away everything that's almost there and just leave the shapes, leave the lines, the basic lines. And this is all in my mind, but what I'll do is I'll mock up kind of like a picture on the screen to kind of show you what I have in my mind. And I think it is a habit, like once you start doing this more and more, you will kind of develop the eye to see this way. But it does take a bit of time and a bit of practice, so that's okay if it doesn't come straight away. So I'll look at the drawing. Is there anything there? You can also look at the reference photo next to your painting and see if it aligns, if there's anything that is like really out of sync with each other. Once I've gone to the drawing section in my mind, then I'll next go to the value, and I think, okay, does a value seem right? Now, this one's a little bit easy because we don't have to think and rely on our eye to do this in our mind. We can actually take a photograph of it and turn the photograph black and white. Now, that's one of the biggest hacks to Don't tell anyone that I told you that. And what that will do is help you to see if the value of the painting is accurate, because really, actually, a lot of people put emphasis on colours and think that it's colour which makes a painting have depth. Completely not true. It's value. Value is what helps a painting have depth. Obviously, colour can be included in the value because colours have values, but ultimately it's the value. Now, the value is just the lightness or darkness of something. So if you turn that black and white, you'll just see if it still makes sense. If the image makes sense and it's very clear as to what that image is, then your values are right. If it looks really messy, there's not one particular focal point and you're very unsure of what it even is, then that's a sign that your values are probably off. So that leads us on to point 3, which is the composition. So then you'll just survey your painting and see if the composition is right. See if there's anything that can be improved upon. Maybe there's something that doesn't quite feel balanced. When we talk about composition, it's very often about harmony and balance in a piece. Now, balance doesn't always necessarily mean equal. It can be balanced in an unbalanced way. But to help you with the composition, what I would suggest and what I do is create some little studies in a sketchbook and kind of map out where you want your different items, and then that will really help you decide on a composition that you really like. Okay, so the next one is colour. Checking if the colours are harmonious and work nicely together. Now, I like to choose my colour palette before I start painting. So I make up these little swatches, and I make these up for every painting that I do, just to kind of give myself a little bit of a base so that when I'm going off and painting, I can kind of bring myself back and think, oh, I think I've gone a little bit out of the window that I'd originally planned. And what I'll do, I'll just keep that there, either blue tack it on or just keep it around so that I can just keep on checking if the colours are matching up. And I think I've just realised that this is the wrong swatch. I have that many of them around. I think this is for these studies, which is part of a different painting. But you get the idea. Just creating a little colour swatch will just help you really hone in those colours. And it doesn't necessarily mean you can only use these colours, of course, but it's within those parameters. You can obviously saturate them, desaturate them, have them lighter, have them darker, things like that. But in that kind of family of colours is really important. And then the last one is painting technique. So that is how you actually get the paint onto the canvas or onto your surface. Now, painting technique is very different for every different artist. It's something that I think comes naturally. You can definitely learn techniques, but I think it's what feels comfortable for you is the one that is right for you. And what I like to do is have a few different techniques at a time. So I like to layer on the paint, but as I get to the later layers, I like to add little bits of texture, whether that's using a palette knife or using brush strokes with a lot of loaded paint on, and kind of building up the layers and adding a bit of transparency. You can see here, you can see the underneath of the canvas a little bit in the sky. So that is something that comes with time and comes with finding your style, but it is also something to be very mindful of and to realize that that is what contributes to the beauty of a painting. So those are the 5 core skills, and that is kind of the list I work through when I plan a painting, as I'm painting, and at the end of a painting when I like to critique it. And there you go. Now you have that list too and you can work through it. If you would like to do a lot more of a deeper dive on those 5 core skills and really see it in action and how you can implement it personally, join me in the workshop. It's called Transform Your Art and Discover How to Create Stunning Paintings that you love. And it's going to be very exciting. Not only is there a class, but in the live version, there's going to be also a live Q&A. You can come and ask me any art question. And there's also going to be a free gift for anyone that attends live. So please do join up. The link is in the description box and I'll also pop it in a comment as well. It will be just a private workshop. So it's not going out on YouTube afterwards. It's only going to be for those that sign up for the class, and that way we can keep it intimate just for the people that really want to be there, and we don't get any like spammers or anything like that. So it would be really wonderful to have you join us, and I hope that's given you a bit of inspiration and wishing you a lovely week. Bye.